around here a lot.
Hey, what's up? I'm Anthony. I'm just having random conversations with people. I have a hobby where I try to talk to people about if they believe in God or not and why.
Okay.
Try to understand, what method do they use. The method that people usually use to get there is all over the charts. We have some really good conversations.
Okay.
You want to do a 5-minute? I'll chat with you.
I'm actually trying to go pick up some equipment right now.
Oh, okay.
But I was just curious, as I always see you around here.
Yeah, I've been coming here maybe about 2 weeks now.
You affiliated with the church or?
No, I just have a hobby.
Okay.
I'm not a believer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
so
not
you're
a
trying
believer.
to find something to give you a reason not to believe, or
a reason to believe, maybe. Might be a better way of phrasing it. Like, if there was a belief scale, like 0% is I have no belief that the God exists, and 100% is I'm 100% confident that the God exists. I'm probably at the 1 or 2%. Like, I really am not confident that a God exists. But I talk to a lot of people at 100.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to move up the scale. So, part of it is to understand how people get there, because sometimes the method that people use to get to the 100% mark is not reliable. And I love to help them discover that.
Well, it's a personal journey, and it's based on faith.
Is that what it is for you? Because not everyone says that. Okay.
But
what is your first name?
Wally.
I'm Anthony.
Anthony.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man. I would love to have a conversation with you about faith. Faith is really one of the things that I'm most interested in.
Okay.
Where are you on that scale? I know you have to go, but
Where? I'm a 10.
You are.
I believe in God.
And how much of that belief requires faith to get to that 10%, the 100% mark?
To get to it?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, religion is all about faith.
Okay.
So as far as...
Are we saying 100%? Is it 100%. All of it? Okay.
100%.
Wally, 100%.
It's something you can't see. It's hard to believe in something and stand behind it. So you have to actually believe with your faith that there is something out there and that there is a God.
Yeah. Do you like that situation? I mean,
I do.
You're comfortable believing on things on faith?
Mm-hmm.
What is your definition of faith? Do you have a definition of it?
I guess just trusting in something that you can't see.
Trusting what you can't see. Do you trust in things that you can't see, in things unrelated to the God belief?
Yeah. I mean, I believe that there's air, oxygen. I mean, our body chemical makeup's made up of tiny little atoms that you can't really see, but it's there.
If those things could be demonstrated to you, would you still be comfortable using faith? Like, if we can illustrate air in a balloon, if we can actually take you to the lab to see the atoms and zoom into your arm like, a zillion times or whatever they do, would you, and you can see those things then. And let's say that anything that you might say that you would use faith for on a daily basis besides the God belief, we can show you things, right? Would you still be comfortable using faith for this one particular aspect of your life to get to the 100% mark on the God belief?
Yeah.
You would?
I would.
Why?
As far as pre-existence, I mean, what do you believe as far as how the world came about?
I have no idea.
No idea.
No.
You don't even have a theory.
I mean, there are theories out there. There's, hypotheses of it, but,
It sounds like you're not really too sure on the greater power outside of what's in front of you.
For me, it would be difficult for me to really go and to believe anything based on faith, because I just don't feel comfortable trusting what you can't see.
No.
You know what I mean?
I think that's where faith is.
For you, you like it.
I do.
If you
Makes me
had,
sleep good at night. Gives me someone to talk to when I pray.
you get a good feeling from it?
Yeah, definitely. It's security.
Good feelings and security. When something gives you a good feeling or you get a sense of security from it, does that in itself make the belief true, Wally?
No. I mean, when I go to church, I do believe in the Holy Spirit and how He works through divine intervention. And that's something you can't really explain or prove, to your point, but it's there. I mean, it's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
I mean, have you ever had divine intervention? Have you ever felt like a calling, or you're outside at nature and you just feel something connected more than, or you,
I can't say that I have. I have a sense of awe. For example, if I were to look at like, a picture from the Hubble telescope looking out at space, like that really gives me a sense of awe.
yeah.
But for you, the feeling that you get helps bolster your confidence in the belief that faith
It reassures my
functions?
faith.
Okay.
So I think God created a lot of things to help us reassure our faith.
If you had something, if we were to look at a pie chart of your belief, Wally, right, and 100% of it is faith, and we can carve out a little slice of that and replace it with something else, let's call it evidence. Would you jump at the chance?
You mean? Well, I'm not sure what you mean.
Let's say that we can supplant 50% of the faith from that 100% that you have, and put 50% evidence in there. So now you're going off of 50% evidence and 50% faith.
Then I think it's not going to be as much as faith as what you're believing in. So you're saying if I could actually prove behind that there is a God and my God exists and my God does everything, and you can actually make evidence on it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, yeah, and then that'd be, I mean, do you believe that? Probably not, but with all the miracles God created in the Old Testament. Or do you believe, like, Jesus, as far as his miracles that he created in front of the people, gave them concrete evidence, and that's how people started following too?
I'm kind of lost a little
So
bit.
like,
We were talking about evidence, and then you sort of switched to like.
Well, in the Bible. So the Bible.
Is the
obviously,
Bible evidence for you?
It
Or-
is.
Okay.
As far as it's writing, but it's.
Yeah.
I mean, for someone like you, you probably look at it. Well, anyone could write something like that.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But
there's stories
But
in
for
the
you,
Bible.
you're confident with 100% faith. If we were to have, if I can give you 50% evidence, and I can't, but if somebody could, right?
It just make it more concrete.
It would. Given the choice, if you had a choice to choose between 50% evidence and 50% faith, or 100% faith, which is where you're at now, what situation would you prefer, Wally?
Well, I am happy with 100% faith. For other people, they might want that 50% concrete, so they're not investing everything in something that could be nothing.
Yeah.
But as for, not purpose, but I think for on God's side, I think if he gave people 50% concrete evidence and 50% faith, he'd be like, well, I'm pretty much persuading you 100% or 50% to follow me. So if God only gave you beliefs and on faith alone, then he's going to know who his true followers are.
Are you saying that if I had half evidence and half faith, if everyone had half evidence and they would need half faith to get to the 100%?
I think you're going to be more likely to follow. But I think also God wants to see how strong his followers are.
He wants you to go off of faith and not evidence.
I mean, if God wanted to, he could just make everyone a believer and then
Just show up right here, right? If he wanted to. That would be nice. I mean, I would love that if he could do that.
It would be, but as far as God gave us free will, so if you gave a bunch of people free will,
I would freely like him to be here.
Okay. I think everybody would.
Yeah. Okay, but he's not here, so we have no choice but to go off of faith. Is that right? Okay. People of other religious beliefs. This woman that maybe believes in Vishnu, right? She's a Hindu. And that other woman, she believes in Allah. They don't have evidence for their belief, right? They're all going off of faith. The faith that they're using, as far as I can tell, is no different than the faith that you're using, Wally.
No. I mean, that's why there's many different branches of Christianity. If you follow religion back as far as the beginning of time, there's always sort of a set story of a good and evil and like a savior that comes down.
How could somebody who really wants to know the truth and follow one of the three people that both use faith, they're 100% confident they use faith, we got the Hindu, the Muslim, and the Christian, right?
And the guy that's unsure.
And the guy that's unsure, right? I'm standing right here in front of you. Like, I'll follow whoever is correct.
But how you gotta make that personal choice? I mean, religion
for me, I would
is
like
a
to
personal
follow.
journey. It's not what's right or wrong. I mean,
Okay.
you got to find what really believes.
Dude, I'm open to it, and that's why I'm talking to people. But how would a person, how can I discover that your faith is any different than the faith that these people are using? Is it different?
Possibly. I mean, as far as religions, all religions have different standards. All religions have their own little tweaks. I think religion sort of got mucked up through power and everything. But as far as the faith in the one God, I think that's obviously everyone has their own faith in their God. So somewhere along all these thousands of hundreds of years, we still have faith in a God that is our Savior. And that's one thing that hasn't changed. The religion and the backgrounds and all their certain rules that each church has will change over time because we're human. But
yeah, I guess, frankly, the stories the very eloquent conversation that you're giving me is great, but it's really no different than those conversations I've had with other people where they're confident in trusting what they can't see, to the point where some of them take it to the extreme, right? These Islamic extremists, they use faith to conclude that they're interpreting their holy book correctly.
Yeah.
You're using faith to conclude that your God is true.
Mm-hmm.
The Hindu is using faith to conclude that her God, one of those many gods, is true.
Yeah.
Yet you're comfortable using that 100% to get there. And I'm really struggling to understand that.
I grew up in a religious family. I've always grown up with faith, and I think that also helps as far as me understanding and accepting faith because I've always been around it. So I'm not sure of your background or...
Do you think that the geographic location that you happen to be raised in
Definitely
has any bearing on the truth of the belief?
The truth of the belief?
If you were born in Bangalore, India, and you were raised to be Hindu and believe in Vishnu?
I do think location does have absolutely a huge effect. But I also believe that missionaries do a lot of good work and they can convert a lot of people. And I think personal experiences with your own religion can either make you drawn closer or distant from it.
Sure. But, I'm more interested in you, dude. Like, you're 100%, you're okay going off of 100% faith, no evidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
Given the choice of taking evidence, you'd be still content going with faith.
Mm-hmm.
You recognize that people of other religions, some to the very extreme, use faith to get to their belief.
Yeah, I think there's also motives behind some of it, but that's my own personal belief about the Islamic as far as the extremists. If you want to look at ISIS, or if you want to look at the suicide bombers and the promising of 50 or 100 or 75 virgins and all that, I mean, I think government can tap into faith because it's something that people will heavily believe in and they can alter motives. But
let's think about that Hindu woman who believes in Vishnu.
Okay.
She's 100% confident that the belief is true. She was raised in it. She goes to temples, and her family raised her to believe Vishnu is the one true God, and she's 100% there. If she had the choice of evidence, she'd be like, I'm okay going on faith that my God exists. And is there any way that we can discover that she is more correct than you?
Well,
or vice versa?
Die in a plane crash, you can have your heart stop ticking, and then when you wake up, you'll find out what really the true religion or true faith or true God is.
She would have to die to discover if she was more correct than you?
Well, how else would he do it? Unless Jesus came back for the resurrection and proved that our Christianity was right.
Is that what it would take for you? Would you have to die to know that you were more correct than her?
How else would you know if it's all on 100% faith and no fact?
If that's the case, sir, how could you possibly be at the 100% confidence if you have to die to discover that you were correct on it?
I'm okay with dying. I mean, everybody dies. And when you're dead, you're going to, in my belief, go to heaven as long as you believe in God. And believing in God is having faith. So to me, I'm not going to argue with someone about their religion. I'm not going to try to talk them out of it because if they have faith, I have my faith. So as long as you believe in it and you can feel 100% happy believing in it, I mean, what else could you ask for? I'm content. I'm happy when I go to bed. I'm not chasing anything around. So
if you can't know, I'll try this just a slightly different angle. And I know you have to go, and you've been very patient. Thank you. if you can't know that the faith you're using to get to your God, Wally, is correct until you actually die, how could you lock yourself into 100% confidence on the belief?
How?
Shouldn't you be moving lower on the belief?
No, I was talking about with divine intervention. There's sometimes I feel so connected to my God through my faith, to just being in nature, seeing all these wonderful things that I am blessed with every single day.
Couldn't an atheist get the same feeling of awe?
They could, and they could probably call it something totally different. And that's, I don't know. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Thank you so very much. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
I've got a card here. Did you enjoy the talk?
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Interesting.
I would love to, chat with you again. I'll probably be out here next week. So if you want to continue the talk, I'd really love to keep going with you.
Yeah.
My name's Anthony.
Anthony.
Yes, sir.
So you really out here just doing this for personal reasons, or are you trying to do?
Yeah. If I can have you, Wally, walk away from the conversation, maybe thinking a little bit more about the reliability of faith than you thought about it before you stopped and chatted with me, I would be very happy with that outcome. I'd be very happy with that.
I believe in 100% faith. That's what all religion's about. Amen.
Take it easy.
You too.
All right, see ya.
Like, that's exactly what I had put.